Lesson 70. May, might, palace, parliament. What do the words may and might express?
The words may and might express the idea of perhaps.
What's the difference between may and might?
The difference between may and might is that we cannot use may in the second conditional.
Give me an example.
If I went to London, I might visit Buckingham Palace.
Do you think it may rain later?
Yes, I think it may rain later.
What do you think I might have in my pocket?
I think you might have some money in your pocket.
What might happen if you didn't look both ways before crossing the road?
An accident might happen if I didn't look both ways before crossing the road.
What might you see if you went to London?
I might see Buckingham Palace, the Houses of Parliament, Trafalgar Square, Piccadilly Circus, etc. if I went to London.
Do you think there might be another world war?
No, I don't think there'll be another world war.
Arrive at. Point. Arrive in. Area. Airport. Passport. What's the difference between arrive at and arrive in?
The difference between arrive at and arrive in is that we arrive at a point, whereas we arrive in an area.
What time do you arrive at school?
I arrive at school at 11 o'clock.
If you arrived at a foreign airport without your passport, what might happen?
If I arrived at a foreign airport without my passport, I might not be able to enter the country.
Cafe. What is a cafe?
A cafe is a small informal restaurant where you can get light meals, snacks and drinks.
Oh. Do you owe me any money?
Yes, I owe you some money.
Do I owe you any money?
No, you don't owe me any money.
Verb plus back. Souvenir. What does it mean to give back?
To give back means to return.
When you go on holiday, what do you bring back with you?
When I go on holiday, I bring back souvenirs with me.
Are you going to go back home immediately after the lessons ended?
Yes, I'm going to go back home immediately after the lessons ended.
When people lend you money, do you always pay it back when promised?
Yes, when people lend me money, I always pay it back when promised.
Do you know anybody who has retired but then later gone back to work?
Yes, I know somebody who has retired but then later gone back to work.
Pride. Proud. Normal. Normally. Take pride in. What is your normal breakfast?
My normal breakfast is coffee and bread.
Do people normally feel proud when they do well in exams?
Yes, people normally feel proud when they do well in exams.
Do you take pride in your work?
Yes, I take pride in my work.
Servant. If you were very rich, would you have servants in your house?
No, if I were very rich, I wouldn't have servants in my house.
Wheel. Lorry. Does a lorry have fewer wheels than a car?
No, a lorry doesn't have fewer wheels than a car, it has more wheels.
Arrow. Centimetre. Metre. About how long is an arrow?
An arrow is about a metre long.
How many centimetres make a metre?
100 centimetres make a metre.
Beard. Do you know anybody who has a long beard?
Yes, I know somebody who has a long beard.
True. False. Paper. Newspaper. Is it false that the opposite of heaven is hell?
No, it isn't false that the opposite of heaven is hell, it's true.
Is everything we read in the newspapers true?
No, not everything we read in the newspapers is true. Some things are true and some things are false.
Why do you think this is so?
I think maybe it's because newspapers haven't always got time to make sure that what they write is completely true.
Maintain. Is it cheap to maintain a large house?
No, it isn't cheap to maintain a large house. It's expensive.
It takes. Ireland. How do we translate the words it takes?
We translate the words it takes with
How long does it take you to go home from here?
It takes me about an hour to go home from here.
Does it take longer to fly from here to Ireland than to go by train and ship?
No, it doesn't take longer to fly from here to Ireland than to go by train and ship. It takes less time.
About how long would it take us to reach the station from here if we walked very fast?
It'd take us about 5 minutes to reach the station from here if we walked very fast.
Amount. Amount to. What amount of money have you got in your pocket at the moment?
I've got about £5 in my pocket at the moment.
Do they use a large amount of wood in building houses in this region?
No, they don't use a large amount of wood in building houses in this region.
Why not?
Because it's expensive.
What do £50 and £13 amount to?
£50 and £13 amount to £63.
Further. Sweden. In addition. Extra. What does the word further mean?
The word further means the same as father, but it also means in addition or extra.
Which is further from Spain? Sweden or Switzerland?
Sweden is further from Spain than Switzerland.
What's the furthest you've ever been?
The furthest I've ever been is from England to Japan.
Where do you have to go if you wanted further information about train times at a station?
I'd have to go to the information office if I wanted further information about train times at a station.
Give me a further example of the word further, please.
If I failed an exam, I'd have to take further lessons.
Lesson 71. Past perfect. I had eaten. When do we use the present perfect?
We use the present perfect when we are thinking about time before and up to now.
Give me an example.
Mary cannot enter her flat because she has lost her key.
What does that sentence mean?
That sentence means that Mary does not know where her key is now because of losing it earlier today.
When do we use the past perfect?
We use the past perfect when we are thinking about time before and up to another point in the past.
Give me an example.
Mary could not enter her flat yesterday because she had lost her key.
What does that sentence mean?
That sentence means that Mary did not know where her key was yesterday because of losing it earlier in the day.
What's the difference between these two sentences? I ate my dinner at 9 o'clock and I had eaten my dinner at 9 o'clock.
The difference between these two sentences is that I ate my dinner at 9 o'clock means I started to eat my dinner at 9 o'clock, whereas I had eaten my dinner at 9 o'clock means that my dinner was already finished at 9 o'clock.
Had you had anything to eat before you came to school today?
Yes, I had had something to eat before I came to school today.
Had you ever seen me before you came to this school?
No, I had never seen you before I came to this school.
When you began your lessons at this school, had you already studied some English or were you a complete beginner?
When I began my lessons at this school, I had already studied some English.
Party. Political. What does the word party mean?
The word party means...
Do you ever throw a party at home on your birthday?
Yes, I sometimes throw a party at home on my birthday.
Which is the strongest political party in your country today?
The Conservative Party is the strongest political party in my country today.
Do you prefer to go on holiday with a friend or in a large party?
I prefer to go on holiday with a friend.
Mad, crazy, UFO. What does the word mad mean?
The word mad means angry, very interested, and crazy.
Do some people get mad when they're driving in very heavy traffic?
Yes, some people get mad when they're driving in very heavy traffic.
What kind of things are you most mad about?
I'm most mad about music, films, sport, etc.
If a friend told you they had seen a UFO, would you believe them or think they were going mad?
If a friend told me they had seen a UFO, I wouldn't believe them. I'd think they were going mad.
Copy. What happens if one pupil copies from another during an exam?
If one pupil copies from another during an exam, he's sent out of the room.
When you answer a question during a Callan lesson, should you simply copy what the teacher says?
No, when I answer a question during a Callan lesson, I shouldn't simply copy what the teacher says. I should try to answer the question without waiting to hear the words from the teacher first.
If you were given 2 copies of the same book for your birthday, what would you do?
If I were given 2 copies of the same book for my birthday, I'd give one to a friend.
Influence. Does the weather have a strong influence over you? Do you, for example, feel happy in good weather and unhappy in bad weather?
Yes, the weather has a strong influence over me.
Mouse, mice. What is the name of the famous mouse in the cinema world?
The name of the famous mouse in the cinema world is Mickey Mouse.
What do mice like eating?
Mice like eating cheese, etc.
Throat. What part of the body's this?
It's the throat.
Opportunity. Which would you prefer? A job that gave you the opportunity to visit other countries, or a job that gave you the opportunity to earn a lot?
I'd prefer a job that gave me the opportunity to earn a lot.
Develop, industry, agriculture. What do we mean by the underdeveloped countries of the world?
By the underdeveloped countries of the world, we mean those with little industry, agriculture, etc.
Print. Where was this book printed?
This book was printed in Malta.
Sand, beach, desert. Where do we find sand?
We find sand on a beach, in a desert, etc.
When you're on holiday, do you enjoy lying on a beach in the sun?
Yes, when I'm on holiday, I enjoy lying on a beach in the sun.
Why is it difficult to live in a desert?
It's difficult to live in a desert because there is so little water.
Bell, knock, pay a visit, ring. What am I doing?
You're knocking on the table.
Is there a bell in this school?
Yes, there's a bell in this school.
What do you do when you arrive at somebody's front door in order to pay a visit?
When I arrive at somebody's front door in order to pay a visit, I knock on the door or ring the doorbell.
Shout. When do people shout?
People shout when they're angry or when they think somebody can't hear them.
If there were some people shouting loudly outside in the corridor, would you be able to hear me?
No. If there were some people shouting loudly outside in the corridor, I wouldn't be able to hear you.
Stick. Walking stick. Do some people use walking sticks to help them move around when they get older?
Yes, some people use walking sticks to help them move around when they get older.
Which animals like to fetch sticks that you throw for them?
Dogs like to fetch sticks that you throw for them.
Would prefer plus infinitive with to. Where would you prefer to live? By a lake or by the sea?
I'd prefer to live by the sea.
This evening, would you prefer to go out for dinner or simply go home?
This evening, I'd prefer to go out for dinner.
Exclamation mark.